Hello, Umbris here. Today I'd like to talk about the design appeal of small things fitting into bigger things. Maps and levels are the primary way that we navigate through a game's world. We've seen some incredibly excellent maps this year, from Breath of the Wild to Mario Odyssey to Evil Within 2. And that's just AAA. Today, let's take a break away from whole worlds and focus on individual tiles. In this video, I'm going to be talking about modular design, and I'll be using Warframe as a primary example. Warframe by Digital Extremes has received a lot of traction lately as it has undergone several large revamps in design and aesthetic. It has even received an entirely new playable zone, the enormous Plains of Eidolon. This area is larger than any other individual map piece in the game. It is something to be explored and understood, full of landmarks, and it's very similar to how Destiny's overworld maps function. The plains seem to exist as an iterative response to Warframe's previous core design features. I am referring to modules and tilesets. So, what do I mean when I say modular level design? Well, imagine a corridor. This corridor has 4 separate but connected sections to it. Let's call them sections A through D. Each section may have something special about it, say a treasure, or a dangerous trap, or a mini-boss. The way our corridor is now, I, as the designer, make it, and I put it in the game. It's done. It is something for the players to freshly experience once. Over time, they become familiar with the corridor, its challenges, and then they will surpass it, and the motions become monotonous, and you move on to the next thing. There's nothing wrong with this. This is how most games function. Modular design, however, allows us to take these individual elements of the corridor and remix them, however we like. So let's talk briefly about the different types of maps that you can encounter in Warframe. There's over a dozen different types of missions, ranging from spy missions that require you to do intense platforming challenges, to exterminate missions that are simple run-gun kill maps. Each mission type requires its own special map pieces, or tile sets, and these pieces are added and removed as needed to give each mission a unique but familiar feel. Oh, and you can also have cool Zone of the Enders style aerial combat missions too, so that's awesome. There are currently 22 different types of tile sets in Warframe, each with their own theme and aesthetic. Using these variables, we can create nearly infinite arrangements of our corridor. This is a standard practice in many roguelike games, such as The Binding of Isaac or Rogue Legacy, but it is also a core aspect to Warframe's design. Loot is randomized. How much loot you may get in a mission is randomized, but as well the levels themselves are procedurally generated from modules patched together. Themes and very smooth transitional hallways keep this experience seamless. It isn't very often that you ever experience a feeling that the space you're walking through has been constructed moments before you arrived. However, because of the way this content is generated, with the types of structures matching types, it all starts to blend together. While there is limitless potential to modular design and the use of tile sets, there is almost no intentionality to the arrangement. Now, this can be done. A lot of Skyrim is created from tile sets. However, apart from the skins of an environment, it's very hard to find some kind of story to the zone that you experience. Now, to resolve this, Digital Extremes have created deliberately designed zones just for the purpose of unique experiences. There are boss arenas, and there are special levels that are unique and interesting and have that special story to them. So the question is, what's better? Clearly, from a financial and players' hours played point of view, modular design is better, right? Well, let's take a look at Destiny, a game that shares very similar audiences to Warframe. The games are both shooters, they both have a variable loot system, and they both have you going through similar content over and over and over again. However, Destiny only has a set number of maps. They are finite and constructed for a specific purpose and type of encounter. They are then populated with the right types of enemies for whatever mission you are currently on. When you compare this to Warframe's level variants, you might start to see the appeal. Again, think about our corridor. Seeing a map over and over again with different types of enemies is very different from seeing bits of that map remixed with different types of enemies. So, you might be asking then, what's the problem? With modules, I can have nearly infinite content. I'll never get bored because I can never get used to the areas I'm moving through. Honestly, both methods have their problems. In Destiny, you're often not paying much attention to what you're looking at in a zone beyond what enemies are around. This is as much of a fault of the fact that Destiny is so much more heavily a shooter than Warframe is, as it is a fault in the level design, or the mission design. Warframe, though, suffers a similar problem from the opposite angle. Because you're never really sure what the environment will look like, everything sort of blurs together while you're zooming through at Space Ninja speed looking for the important things, like loot, an XP, and an exit, or a platforming challenge, the reasons you are in the map in the first place. Warframe is an incredible game. Digital Extremes have taken a strategy usually reserved for small content games and have expanded it into an incredible amount of content. Almost too much, some could say. In addition to all of this, the Plains of Eidolon have created an answer to this issue that is unique and interesting, a zone full of landmarks and adventure to discover. Unfortunately, because of how the game's aesthetics are used, the tile maps do tend to blend together. As I said, it is very hard to pay attention to much of anything when you are a cool space ninja, so I'm willing to forgive a lot to a game that lets that fantasy come true. However, it is unfortunate that, for me, it is difficult to care about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it at any given moment. Moment to moment blurs together, and I just get the sense that I'm cool and strong. But maybe that's enough. Probably. What do I know? I'm just a space ninja. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and would like to see others like it. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.